Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we cut through all the noise, look at the sources, and really pull out the key insights just for you. Today, we're diving into James Clear's big one, Atomic Habits, really influential book. And look, if you've ever felt, stuck or struggled to be consistent or just wondered how you can actually make lasting changes, well, this deep dive, it's for you. We're aiming to give you a kind of shortcut here, exploring the core ideas that have helped literally millions shift how they approach habits and, transform their lives.
Yeah, what makes this material so impactful, I think, is just how practical it is. It's not just theory. It gives you really actionable things you can do, like right away, no matter where you're starting from, to build a better, maybe more fulfilling life. It's like a blueprint.
Okay, so let's get into it. There's this common idea, right, that if you want a big change, you need some kind of massive action, a huge push. But Atomic Habits, it suggests something different.
It really does. James kind of flips that idea on its head. He has this great line: "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." And what he means by that, essentially, is that those big dreams we have, they're good for direction, sure, but what really matters are the small things you do consistently, day in, day out. Your systems, those everyday routines, they're the real drivers of long-term results. And that's where this term atomic habits comes from, just like atoms, right? Individually, they seem tiny, almost insignificant, but you combine them, repeat them over and over, build them into something bigger. Suddenly they have this massive potential. They're the building blocks.
Yeah, and the book gives this amazing math example that really hits home. Getting just 1% better each day doesn't sound like much at all, but keep that up. By year end, you're nearly 37 times better. 37. But flip it. Get 1% worse each day. You basically slide all the way back down to zero. It just shows that massive difference consistency makes, It's this quiet force deciding if you're growing or stagnating. Makes you think, doesn't it? What are those tiny little habits you might be overlooking right now? That little thing that could push you forward or maybe hold you back?
That extra 5 minutes reading, maybe. Or skipping the soda. Tiny things.
Exactly. Okay, so building on that, let's talk about goals versus systems. Because we all set goals, right? Lose weight, write that book, earn more, we've all got them. But if everyone has goals, what actually separates people who achieve them from those who don't? This is where I think it gets really practical.
It's a crucial point. Clear argues pretty convincingly that winners and losers often have the exact same goals. I mean, think about it. Every team wants to win the championship, right? Every startup wants to be huge. So the goal itself isn't the differentiator, the real difference. It's their systems.
Okay, so define that difference more clearly. Goals versus systems.
Right, so goals are about the outcome, the result you want way down the line. Systems, that's the process. The stuff you do every day that leads to that result, like the example in the book. Goal is write a book. That's the outcome. Your system might be write 500 words every morning, Monday to Friday. That's the process. And Clear says you need to fall in love with the process. Focus on showing up and doing that daily work. When you nail the system, the results, they tend to just happen. The goal becomes almost like a side effect of a good system.
That really reframes things, doesn't it? From just wishing for something to happen to actually building the path to get there. So for you listening, it's worth asking, are you focused on building strong systems? Or are you mainly just looking at that end goal, hoping you'll somehow arrive? It's your system for getting fit actually going to the gym 3 times a week, or is it just wanting to be fit? Big difference.
Huge difference. Your systems are designing your future, literally.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. There's another common mistake people make when trying to change habits, this idea of trying to change from the outside in. What does that actually look like? Why doesn't it work so well?
Well, the outside-in approach sounds very familiar, I think. It's like, okay, I'm going to stop smoking, or I will run every day, or my goal is to eat healthy. You're focusing on the behavior, which seems logical, right?
Yeah, seems like the obvious place to start.
But the problem, as Clear points out, is that you might be trying to force this new behavior while still holding on to an old internal identity that contradicts it. Deep down, maybe you still see yourself as a smoker trying to quit, or maybe fundamentally a person who isn't athletic, or someone who just loves junk food.
Okay, so the action feels like you're fighting against who you think you are.
Exactly, it creates internal friction. So Clear suggests a really powerful shift. Start with your identity. Don't ask, what do I want to do? First, ask, who do I want to become? It's subtle but profound. Instead of, I want to run a marathon, think, I want to become a runner.
Become a runner.
Yeah. Once you decide on that desired identity, then you align your habits to match that kind of person. The behavior flows from the identity, not the other way around. The examples are great, like don't just try to read more, aim to become a reader. What does a reader do? They read regularly, maybe they join a book club, they talk about books. The habits follow the identity. Or don't just try to eat clean. Decide to become someone who values their health. That identity then guides your choices naturally. It makes the habits feel less like a chore and more like, well, just who you are.
And I love this idea that every time you do one of those aligned actions, you're essentially casting a vote for that new identity.
Precisely.
Each run is a vote for, I am a runner. Each healthy meal is a vote for, I am a healthy person. It builds evidence for your brain.
Exactly right. You're reinforcing that self-image with every small win.
Which, of course, raises the big question, how do you actually do that? How do you make these identity shifts and build the habits? It sounds good, but what's the practical how-to? And that leads us perfectly into James Clear's framework, the 4 laws of behavior change. This is the real toolkit, right? The practical steps.
This is the blueprint.
Yeah.
It really breaks down habit formation into 4 simple, memorable laws. And they work for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Okay, so law number 1, make it obvious. This is all about designing your environment. Make the cues for your good habits visible and, well, obvious.
Like putting your gym clothes out the night before.
Exactly. Or keeping that water bottle on your desk if you want to drink more water. If the cue is right there, you're much more likely to act on it. Remove the friction of even remembering.
Makes sense. Out of sight, out of mind often applies.
Totally. Okay, law number 2. Make it attractive. We're more likely to do things we find appealing. So you need to make the habit itself more attractive. One way is temptation bundling.
Temptation bundling.
Yeah, you pair something you want to do with something you need to do. Like, you only let yourself listen to your absolute favorite podcast while you're exercising.
Ah, okay. Linking a reward directly to the habit.
Right. Or maybe you only get your fancy coffee while you're doing that boring admin task you always put off. It sweetens the deal, makes the habit more appealing.
Got it. Okay, number 3.
Law number 3, make it easy. This one's huge. We naturally gravitate towards the path of least resistance. So make your desired habits as easy as possible to start. Reduce the friction. And the key here is to start incredibly small, like ridiculously small.
The 2-minute rule.
That's the one. If you want to read more, just commit to reading 1 page. Or even just putting on your running shoes and stepping outside for 2 minutes. The goal initially isn't mastery, it's just showing up. Making it so easy you can't say no. Consistency first, intensity later. It's about becoming the person who does the thing, even just a tiny bit.
That feels much less intimidating than run 5 miles.
Way less.
Yeah.
And finally, law number 4, make it satisfying. Our brains are wired to repeat actions that feel good. We need some kind of immediate reward or sense of satisfaction to reinforce the habit loop.
So it's not enough just to do it. You need to feel good about doing it somehow.
Ideally, yes,
Yeah.
especially at the start. This could be simple, like tracking your habit on a calendar and getting the satisfaction of checking it off, seeing the streak grow. Or maybe a small, healthy reward after you complete it. Feeling that little win reinforces the behavior, makes your brain go, that was good, let's do that again.
So obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying, that's the framework.
That's the core loop for building good habits. And importantly, if you want to break a bad habit, you just invert these laws.
Okay, how did that work?
You make the bad habit invisible, hide the cookies, delete the app, make it unattractive, focus on the negative consequences, make it difficult, add friction, increase the steps needed to do it, and make it unsatisfying. Maybe get an accountability partner who calls you out.
So you're basically engineering your environment and your mindset against the bad habit using the same principles.
Exactly. It's a really elegant and practical system for both sides of the coin.
It really is. And what strikes me is how these aren't just theories. They're concrete actions. Things you, listening right now, can literally start applying today. A real roadmap.
Absolutely. And I think the fundamental message that comes through from all this is that your habits, whether you're consciously shaping them or not, are shaping your future. Every tiny choice, every little action, it's like a vote for the type of person you're becoming. It's happening constantly.
Right. So let's try and boil it down for everyone listening. The core message here seems to be, start small. Really small. Show up consistently, even if it's just for those 2 minutes. Focus on building a better system, that daily process, rather than just staring at the distant goal.
Mm-hmm. Love the process.
Yeah. And slowly, patiently, one tiny atomic habit at a time, you start to rise. That closing idea, rise. Just think about the quiet power in that. What could starting with just one small, deliberate, positive habit today actually mean for your life down the road? something to really consider.